Hi, I'm Tim Matheson. I'm in the Hart of Dixie, and we're here in Marina del Rey, Santa Monica today, talking about happiness. And what a better place to be happy. I think for me, I just try and keep my surroundings close to water. I love the water. I love to be in the water, near the water, on the water, under the water, and so to me, that's part of being happy. But so many different things make me happy. One of the things that I'm trying to do, especially as I enter this phase of my life, is take things slower, stop, listen, look, and the universe is never wrong. So usually there's a door opening somewhere in front of you. Usually, earlier in my life, I was going so fast that I rarely had time to see it, so I would rush right past it. But now I'm enjoying the opportunity to just take advantage of everything that is offered to me by the universe, and I'm having a wonderful time. One of the great things about being an actor is that you send out through your work your feelings when you're in a good project, when you're in a project that everything sort of aligns and comes together. You send out through your best work things that move an audience, hopefully. And one of the great joys of being an actor is walking down the street and people say, "Hey man, I saw that, I love that, I love that, I love the way you do, oh gosh," or people give back to performers in many ways. Sometimes they don't like you, but even if I play like a bad guy, like I did some burn notices and I played a real kind of bad guy, they like the evilness of it and joy and relish in that and the fun I had doing that. So I mean, it all sort of evens out, even if you're playing a kind of a tough character. The great thing about being an actor is it's very much like the circus. So you travel to far reaches of the planet, get together with a group of people and try and tell a story. And hopefully to reach out to an audience that somehow that this story may help them reflect on their life, make them laugh, make them cry, help them waste 15 minutes, an hour, 50, whatever, but somehow move them. I mean, and in the best possible sense of the art, that can happen. A lot of times it doesn't happen, but you take your chances. And the projects you don't think are the ones that are really going to be that meaningful oftentimes are the ones that people respond to the most. And that's really a joy, is to get that feedback from the audience. I think as an actor, at first you take anything you can do. I just want to get out there and do it. When I was a kid actor, I would do anything and everything. I rarely said no. Every now and then I'd say no. I wouldn't do cigarette commercials when they used to do cigarette commercials. You make an ethical stand or something. Of course, I didn't get offered any cigarette commercials, so it was an easy stand. But and then you get into a point, I think, as I started doing movies and got some success, I almost got frozen about if I did this, you overthink things, and have turned down really many wonderful opportunities. And I look back at that, and now I just sort of, I look at the people that are involved, and I look at the project, and I just trust my gut. And I look at the material and I say, does that speak to me? Does that resound for me? And then I'm led in that direction. So now it's just a little bit simpler. I just go, do I like it? I don't like it. And there's no shame in ever having to take a job for the money. If you have to work, you must work. I mean, we all must work for a living unless we were born in the Romney family, and I wasn't. So it's okay to have to take a job, and some of the things I've done, sadly, I had to take a job. But even that, there's great benefits from doing that. Sometimes it's if you're in a project and you could sort of get a global perspective and you realize, this may or may not be the best thing's ever been done, and it's like you don't like the director, you don't like the script, whatever. I realized you can't make a judgment like that. That the gift is that you get to immerse yourself in the character as an actor and to take that character and use it as a personal exploration, you know, examine a certain part of yourself, and there's something to be gained out of that. So selfishly, I do it for myself, and then whatever happens to the project happens to the project. As a director, which I've been doing a lot in the last 15 years, there's really no time to be reflective about it. You know, you just really want to, I'm seeking to create images and create an environment for the actors to work. And I take it very seriously to create a light atmosphere on the set for my actors so that they can be easily in touch with their feelings and give the best performance possible, you know. So I tend to let go of all those little voices going, this is no good, this is, it's just, it's just this or that. I mean, I've worked with a lot of directors who go, this is just TV, or this is just that, you know, and I'm just like, we're so lucky to be doing this, you know, and Downton Abbey is just TV, you know, Homeland is just TV, Game Change is just TV. I mean, it's what you make of it. So that anytime anybody soft soaps something or undercuts something or just uses an excuse not to do their best, I find that just mystifying, and I just don't think, I've tried never to allow myself to do that. The songs that speak to me in different times and different reasons, I like Al Green. Al Green, just, you know, I'll just put on the greatest hits of Al Green, and that just sort of lifts me up. I do love Eric Clapton. I love the blues. Oddly enough, the blues kind of get me, you know, reflective. But then I think at the end of that, I find by being reflective that I realize how many blessings I have and how wonderful my life really is. And then it sort of lifts me out of whatever the momentary kind of low is, like, this didn't happen or that didn't. I have to wait for this. So it's those things that take me to a larger place. I'm a big Christmas music fan, and the thing now that I've found is my daughter turned me on to Spotify. So any song I want to hear, bang, I can pick it up like that. Anything, like Elvis Presley's duets, where they made a duet Christmas album, and then it was like insane because he's now doing duets with artists that he'd never met or, you know, weren't even alive when he was around. So, but I find myself drawn to so many different kinds of music. You know, Frank Sinatra. It depends on on what I'm. You know, like somebody like Sinatra, who I saw him when I was a kid, 2 or 3 times at the end of his career. But what the artistry and the professionalism and just the unique way that he would phrase things just speaks to me. But those are my playlists. Well, it's the biggest thing I've learned about myself is to not censor my feelings and to just let it happen. Don't judge, because if I judge those feelings, those aren't good feelings, or those aren't. The great thing about acting is when you get in touch with things, it's almost like personal therapy. So that I've played evil characters, that killers, and you sort of exercise parts of yourself, or you get in touch. We are all complete human beings capable of all the horrible things that humanity has done throughout history. We're all capable of that. And to pretend otherwise, I think, is foolish. And if you're hungry and starving and in a war zone, humanity is capable of horrible or great things. So I think we're all capable of that. And in a more sort of limited way, as an actor, you get to touch those parts of yourself, the shadow parts or the negative parts, and allow that. And I don't think most of us in life get the chance to do that. And the great thing about being an actor is you get to step outside of yourself into another human being, find the things that you have in common, and learn a little bit about yourself and learn a little bit about that other person too. So it's really it's wonderful that they pay us to do this. I had a troubled childhood, let's think, because my parents got divorced and we didn't have any money, and it was a struggle. My mother worked 2 full-time jobs, and it was really tough. And my escape into acting was really my happiness. I just, it was when I went to the movies and sat in the theater and watched a movie over and over and over, which I do sometimes for all day, to get away from the things that were troubling me in my life, or when I started acting and I could go into that character and get away from my life, that was a wonderful respite from the troubles that I had or imagined that I had, or the complications in my life. So it was like I ran to that. I couldn't wait to do that, and I just sought it out more and more and more. So it was a great relief for me. And I never judged the character and their feelings as good or bad. So it's interesting to me when I've played a certain character, people say, "You were such a jerk, you were really you were an asshole." And I was like, really? I was just playing me, I mean, it's like, so it's sometimes surprising that people look at it that way, and I just go, gee, I understand it, of course, I mean, because I was whatever you're doing, but it's like, I never really looked at the character that way. You try and motivate the character that they got to get what they need to get, so that's always amusing.